Hi friends, hope you all are doing good. So today we are going to learn about the cell theory. So before going into the cell theory, we'll just have a look on what is a cell, what are the structure and what are the types of the cells, etc. So some random cell facts. So have you ever imagined that a average human being consists of around 100 trillion individual cells. Complete human being is made of around 100 trillion individual cells. Isn't it amazing? It would take as many as 50 cells to cover the area of a dot on the letter I. See how small that dot is, and it takes around 50 cells to cover the dot of the letter I. Yes, exactly. It's a wow moment. So what is a cell? Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Without cell, no organism could be formed. All the living organisms are made of cells. Like human beings, um, be it a bacteria, be it a virus, be it a plant, animal, etc. Every living thing is made of cells. The cells are very diversified and types are classified into various based on their function, based on their sizes, based on their shapes. The cells are classified into different types like muscular cells, brain cells, nerve cells. In human body, we are dealing with basic types of cells like we can deal with the basic types of cells like plant cells, animal cells, human cells like that. Even the cells are diversified when we take into consideration about a single human being. Human being have different cells like epidermal cells, dermal cells, uh, uh, fat cells, all are cells. Entire living things are made up of cells. Without cells, no metabolism, no enzyme, no hormone formation, nothing could be done. So taking into simplest form, a cell is composed of a plasma membrane. It is surrounded by cytoplasm containing hereditary material, DNA. So, uh, mm, okay, let's move on to some history. Cells are very tiny. Okay, they couldn't be observed through the naked eye, so they can be observed only with the help of a microscope. Um, uh, mm, Microscope is something. Hope everybody knows what is microscope. Microscope is something which is used to observe the items or things that cannot be seen through the naked eye. It consists of magnifying glasses. Okay. In the 12th century, Salvino di Armate from Italy made a piece of glass that fit over one eye and allows the magnification. In the 13th century, spectacles were made in Europe, and in the 16th century, first compound microscope using two lenses were made by Hans and Zacharias. Discovery of cells. So in 1680s, Antony van Leeuwenhoek looked at the blood samples, rainwater, scrapings from the teeth using a simple microscope, and he observed living cells and he named them as animalcules. Okay. In 1665, Robert Hooke looked at a thin slice of cork through the compound microscope and he observed tiny hollow room-like structures and he named them as cella. Okay, before Anton van Leeuwenhoek, Robert Hooke observed a thin slice of cork and he named them as a cella. Cella means in Latin it is called as room-like structures. Why it is called as rooms? It resembles the rooms that monks lived in. Okay, monks lived. And cellulae is a term which is used to denote the six-sided cell of a honeycomb. Whereas in 1680s, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek came up with the discovery of blood samples from various animals like fish, birds, frogs, dogs, and humans, and he observed the living cells and he named them as animalcules, those tiny organisms. Okay, therefore he came to a conclusion that the cells are found in both animals as well as plants. Whereas in 1804, Carl Rudolph and J.H.F. Link was the first to prove that cells had independent cell walls. Okay, what is a cell theory? In 1838, Matthias Claydon viewed plant parts under a microscope and he concluded that plants are made of cells. And in 1839, Theodor Schwann viewed animal parts under a microscope and he concluded that animal parts are made of cells. And in 1855, Rudolf Virchow stated that all the living cells come only from the other living cells. And these three statements, that is, these three statements of those three members was totally made into a cell theory. What does the cell theory say? The cell theory says all organisms are composed of one or more cells, and the second statement says cells are fundamental uh, basic units of life. So the first statement says all the organisms are composed of one or more cells. The second statement that the first statement says that one or more cells means it can be unicellular or it can be multicellular. And the cell is the basic unit of life in all the living things. Okay. This is suggests that all the metabolic activities, everything takes place only with the help of a cell. And these two statements was suggested by, that means stated by Claydon and Swan. And the third statement term called all cells are produced by the division of pre-existing cells. Okay, the hereditary material that is present in the cell is responsible for the division and formation of new cells. So the all the cells are produced by the division of pre-existing cells, and it was stated by Rudolf Virchow. Okay. In addition to these three statements, okay, four statements have been added on as modern cell theory. What does it say? The modern theory says all the cells contains hereditary information, DNA. Okay, it is same in the DNA. I mean, the cell is same in all the cells are same in the composition, that is chemical composition and metabolic activities, and all the basic chemical and physiological functions are carried out inside the cell. So cell activity depends on the activities of subcellular structures within the cell. Okay, like what are the subcellular structures? The cell on a whole is not doing its function. The subcellular organelles like mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, ribosomes, etc. are doing their job. Okay, so on the whole, the activity of these organelles results in the various metabolic and physiologic chemical functions of a cell. So how has a cell theory been used? They are used or they form the basis of the disease, health, medical research and cures. Without the knowledge of how a cell works, how a cell functions, nothing could be done. Okay, thank you. Hope you all understood what cell theory is, and I'll definitely continue about the cell structure. Okay, or that is that what is a cell, what is a cell structure, that is a cell wall, uh, cell membrane, Golgi apparatus, what are prokaryotes, what are eukaryotes, etc. in the next video. Thank you. If you like my channel, please do subscribe.